Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss On Her Majesty's Secret Service, starring George Lazenby, Diana Rigg, Telly Savalas, Ilse Stephart, Gabrielle Forzerdi, Lois Maxwell, Bernard Hill, and Desmond Llewellyn, directed by Peter Hunt. Let's just get straight into this, since this is a new James Bond, and Sean Connery should have retired as this character a long time ago. James Bond, this time played by George Lazenby, finds a girl going for a swim and picks her up for reasons I don't understand. Except using him as bait, and some Spectre agents try to kill James off, and the fight at the beach and the cinematography looks awful. And George Lazenby, to me, comes off creepy and not interesting as James Bond. James gets suspended from the Blofeld case, and James is pissed and requests to go on 2 weeks off from On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and runs into Tracy, who's James and who James saved and pleasured with earlier in the film, and he meets with her father, and these scenes are shot terribly, probably the worst shot James Bond movie I've seen so far. It's unacceptable. What's also unacceptable is this plot of James who's supposedly working with the bad guy in order to get Tracy and have... I don't think he's the bad guy, but let's move on. And haven't we seen this before in other movies years later? It's cliched half to death. And it's predictable as well. I honestly don't know what in the world is going on in this movie, and that's very unacceptable. James goes to the mountains and meets the women and the bad guy and has dinner with them. And why am I not liking this? And there's a reason. And that is George Lazenby is not a good actor, nor is a good James Bond. And it's a shame, and I'm not connecting with this Bond. James gets captured by Blofeld as someone blew his cover and traps him and kills him off, and puts James in a cold, dark room until he escapes and almost cuts his hands off. Now, I'm starting to get bored by this movie, and I'm almost at the climax, and this is a long movie at 2.5 hours, and the shots are unnecessarily repetitively fake, as the editing in this movie sucks. After he escapes the mountains and goes to a mountain town, Tracy picks up James and they have a car chase with Spectre, as he sees and loses them and go in a cabin where they find a garage for the car, and Diana Rigg looks beautiful in this movie. I'm not sure what she looks like now, and the scene in the garage looked pretty good, and it's shot better than the rest of the movie. They go skiing, and some bad guys find them and have a ski fight, which was fun, and it reminded me of Triple X, the movie with Vin Diesel. At the mountain skiing, Blofeld captures Tracy, and James wants to rescue her. Meanwhile, James jumps into the rescue from a helicopter and gets her out, and sees Blofeld's plan and takes photos and has a gunfight with Blofeld. And both get out of there, and James chases Blofeld on a snowspeeder, and that sequence looks terrible until Blofeld gets knocked out unconsciously and wins the day. James decides to marry Tracy, and they go off on their honeymoon, and Blofeld shoots Tracy, and James cries about it, which is sad, but not that great of an ending, and the climax was fun, but not great either. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 3.7 out of 10. This isn't a great James Bond movie, nor a good James Bond movie. I thought the movie was boring and a little too long, and it's unacceptable, and I can't follow a movie, even a Bond movie, that doesn't make me hold on to the grip of it, and the shots can at times be repetitive and fake. So we'll be back next time with another Bond film, and until next time, the name's Bond. James Bond.